Hello everyone, today we're going to be playing some Bad North. Now, this game is a charming little indie game that's been out for I think a couple years at this point, but I still absolutely adore. We're going to be playing on hard mode because it wouldn't be fair for me to play on normal mode, and I don't want to give myself an aneurysm by playing on very hard. So we're just going to be playing on normal mode. I'm going to be fully completing this playthrough as hopefully a guide to people who may be struggling with this game, as it can be quite challenging at harder levels. I haven't played this game in a long time, however, I do think that I'm good enough to the point where I can reasonably give good advice. Right. Never be afraid to use the Warhunt. Your items are always very important, and you should always use them when you can. You can never waste gold. You can never waste gold. It's important to move as quick as possible through every island, and to get as many guys as we possibly can. Now, in these early levels, you really shouldn't be losing any towns. It's too important to keep the money that you get from it. It's way too important. It's also of note that in these early levels where there are no archers, if you can get a spearman, that can essentially win you half of the round already, since these tiny blobs are really struggle with these short passageways that appear. It's also important to know what each ability you have, guys, and never to be afraid to use your abilities. So right now, we have the Warhorn, but we're not going to use it just yet, since we can get a little bit more out of it. Never do what I just did. You always want to not be exactly on the tile that the enemies will land on, since it will stun your men, and then you will not be able to get back up. Our first upgrade is going to be a spearman. Now, with this map, we've actually got a massive upper hand, because the only angle we need to worry about is this angle right here, because this is where everything's going to be coming at us. We've got two houses up top to replenish men from, but these shields shouldn't be able to do a thing of damage to us. Now, we do want to get out of the way of archers, though. Now, we actually do have some better abilities here, such as the replenish, which will allow us to ignore replenishing the spearman for 1 turn, which is not bad, and when we upgrade it, we can do it more often. If you can, cycle out people. You should really only need 3 guys on the front line at all times, so you should be always able to replenish 1 unit, if necessary. So if there's a lull in the fighting like that, you should always try and replenish the unit, especially if it's seriously damaged. We're going to go ahead and get a swordsman. If you can get around it, always separate your problems into different groups. Okay? Now, your regular swordsmen with no upgrade aren't the best units. Your spearmen are going to do a lot of heavy lifting, since if there's no archers, they can hold their ground very easily, and you don't have to babysit them at all. Realistically, you want to conserve your main melee units. Okay, the spearmen are not for melee combat. When you need to charge, you don't use the spearmen. We don't have the spear charge just yet, so we can't use that. And we don't have archers to deal with these large waves that are showing up before they arrive. And even then, we wouldn't be able to deal with them, because we don't have higher level archers, and archers will just miss all their shots, and then you'll get very upset. Well, now we have 1 of everything, so we have an archer, a swordsman, and a spearman, and we have 6 credits left, so we are actually going to go ahead and buy pike charge. The archers theoretically can deal with these by themselves, but usually they miss every shot. And it's surprising that they didn't do that there, but, you know, sometimes miracles do happen. Archers on the high ground, although they can shoot from a further range, doesn't necessarily mean they're more accurate. Okay? Now, as you can see, actually it seems to be the opposite, since we've lost 2 for their 1, which is really annoying. Now, the next unit we are going to actually spend our time upgrading is the archers, since we need the archers to get rid of units we need to deal with ASAP. Okay? The archers, with their knockback, if you've got it, can seriously help your effort. If you get somebody who has heavy weaponry, I believe it is called, which does more knockback, you turn them into an archer every single time, because they will do more knockback, and if you can get them to higher levels with higher accuracy and higher speed shots, then you can essentially take out every single enemy that's coming from a side before they show up. For now, I think we are going to save our money for an upgrade of some sort. We only need these two. Now we're splitting our forces because, see, it makes things easier for us. Okay? If we can split our forces, then we can actually cover more ground, since now we're technically behind. We never want to be only one step away from losing the game. Okay, that is a problem. Oh my goodness. That's not good. They can't hit. Oh. No! Well. That is what happens when you don't pay attention. Very nice. We lived it. We did lose a house, but that's mainly because we split our force. Splitting your force, you should always expect to potentially lose a building. However, you cover more ground. Once we get more men and more units, we can actually survive these. I'm going to change this one into a swordsman. This could get messy because this is going to be a lot of sword boys. But I have faith. And we are going to go ahead and go down and finish the job before moving back up and taking our positions again. If there's archers on the field, we have to deal with them very quickly, because they can do serious damage to our units that aren't armored. Okay. Yep, we'll do it. We're looking fine. We should be good. Oh, that's not good. And now we need to leave, because the last thing we want is to lose a unit. Now, our unit should be able to come out of the building and save us in the nick of time as a Deus Ex Machina. There we go, and we lived it barely. Oh my goodness, no we didn't. There's a guy over there. There we go, we did it! See, you don't need to be good at the game to win. You just need to have enough to win. It needs to be barely enough. And now we've gotten mines as our first item, which is fairly good. We're going to give her the mines. We're going to go ahead and move our spearmen around, because potentially these shield boys could be a nuisance. There we go. That's their toast. Alright, we are going to move people round. And we've got the big wave. So, we're going to move our archers up. This guy round. This guy here. Still waiting on the ability. These guys are going to spawn. And we are going to be able to shoot them from above. However, we need to deal with all these guys before the final wave turns up. Now, we are fine because spearmen are absolutely ridiculous when they don't have any ranged units. If we put our spearmen here, we should be able to deal with this incredibly easily, and that'll be it. Unless one of them goes up, but yeah, there you go. Having a full force will pretty much always net you a win if you know what you're doing. Even on hard, normal, easy. Very hard is different because it's different strategy and you have to basically use your full force at all times and you can't go for detours like I have. However, we should be fine. That's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to be continuing this series until I finish this campaign. So, thank you for watching. I wish you a good rest of the week. Goodbye.